Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Fargonauts.
So,
We are the Fargonaut boys, the broichiest boys you've ever met
hmm
and you ever did
yep.
see. Um,
hmm
Last episode, do you guys recall what we watched?
We watched
I
Twin
mean,
Peaks.
yeah,
I think we watched Twin Peaks, didn't we?
It was
we
close to that, yeah.
it was some shit, dude.
Yeah.
In
To
like the best way,
recollect,
not shit with a bad way.
right? So we watched God of Light, the eighth episode of Twin
Yeah,
Peaks: The Return,
Mhm.
that had a
uh
lot of
the episode
mysticism and
symbolism and
ethereal stuff. I mean,
A lot of lisms.
the
a lot of
giant
isms, dude.
the giant floated above a theater, and
He floated above musical
The nuke
sensation Dido.
exploded. The nuke
Okay.
exploded,
Yeah.
and Bob and fucking Laura Palmer were born. There you go.
the ideas
Here,
of Laura
I'm
and
gonna
Bob were born.
I'm gonna summarize the previous episode in a very small beat poem.
Okay, do it.
Uh,
Nuke exploded, dude floated, newt loaded, done.
Oh yeah.
Thank you. I don't need your sympathy, your artistic sympathy.
I should have had my bongos.
Dibs on band name.
I do
I
have.
should have had my bango.
I have bongos. Like, seriously, in the next room, I can go get them.
You do?
Bingo banger bongos.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. Those are a fun instrument.
Yeah, they were super fun. But yeah, to get back to Twin
You're
Peaks.
fun.
Speaking of bongos, we're on the next episode. I have no idea if that has anything to do with bongos, but this next one's called "This Is the Chair," so kind of like a bongo.
So it looks like a bongo, yeah.
Episode
Maybe.
9. This is the chair.
This is the chair.
I'm excited to get
This is
back
the
into the normal swing of things after that crazy last episode. So
Can you
The
really
episode.
say that it's the normal swing of things when
The normal.
when I see
we
Dougie, yes, it's the normal swing of things. If it's Dougie showing up,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I don't know that I agree with that, but I'm not gonna say that you're wrong. It's just I feel like I have a different opinion of what normal,
swing of things
is.
for Twin Peaks is?
for this show. Yes,
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are
I'm
you saying
used to-
the normal swing of things for Twin Peaks or the normal swing of things for The Return?
normal
Because-
swing of things for Twin Peaks is like
It's very
a,
different.
a fucking moody,
Yeah.
stupid hunk riding his motorcycle.
Yeah.
Like Dale Cooper, not Dougie, not Mr. C.
That is normal swing of things too. yeah.
Operating in the world, an interaction between like the FBI and the police, because so far it's just been like a lot of observation, and don't get me wrong, none of this is a bad thing, but it's just been like so drastically different the way that we are observing so many of these same elements, but very, very different than the way they were before, which again, not a bad thing. But yeah, normal operating procedure is I don't know
Normal
what that means.
operating.
Well, you said
I
like
think
is
it's
it,
normal operating procedure for The Return thing.
but what does that mean? I feel like that's very hard to define.
From what
but-
we previously watched,
I
where
think-
it was like the
So
montage of
I
like
think the most consistent story with any one character we have is probably Dougie and maybe fucking Ganger, maybe. But
what about Hawk though? Like,
yeah, but he's not in it as much.
and
You know, but-
you're right. He's not in it as much, but he is consistently following that one like thread.
Yeah,
and then,
he is the
Don't
one.
get me wrong, we don't get
Sheriff
Dougie
Truman is
until
kinda-
like quite a few episodes in, right?
Yeah.
Dougie doesn't pop up
It was-
until
It wasn't episode 1, I don't think.
but he's a maintain like so to me if your episode is just focused on Dougie, that is to me like a quote unquote status quo because he has been the focus of a few episodes so
Well,
far.
we're wanting him to recall his normal self. Like we're rooting for Dougie
Yeah.
to.
Also,
we're
I
rooting
just
for
want
Coop to
more
come out of
Dougie,
Dougie.
so to me, no matter how much he is in this, he is my main character. All right.
Well, yeah, and I feel like I
have a
remember one of the episodes very like soon after episode 8 was very
Yeah.
Mr. C centric. So I don't know if that's
Yeah.
this one or if that's still incipient, but like
Mr.
That'll-
CD's nuts. We've had a couple
See,
Mr. C episodes.
Tyler.
Yeah.
Well, welcome home, baby.
Too.
We're all here.
We're all here.
The first D's nuts joke of the night, everybody.
Yeah.
There it is. And we'll
First of many.
we'll leave it there, and we'll come back and we'll discuss this next episode.
Yeah.
This is the chair. So as the credits roll, what do you guys think of this return episode? The this is the chair.
Yeah, all over the place.
Yes, but I think that
Not in a bad way. It's just all over the place.
yeah, I think that similar to what we've said before for some previous episodes in other seasons of Twin Peaks, the fact that it was all over the place, it covered a lot of good stuff. Like
Right.
there was a lot of exposition this episode, but
There was
after
a lot of stuff that we needed to know about the aftermath of when Coop left, or Doppelcoop left the Black Lodge from the original series. And met up with Major Briggs, and we kind of find out like that the Doppelcoop possibly started the station fire that killed Briggs, or that killed his corporeal self.
Sounds like
somehow.
he like
Not his dream soul.
Not his dream
His
soul.
dream soul. Were.
gosh,
His
yeah,
dream soul
who's
was
to-
preserving or hibernating.
but gosh, yeah, gosh, who's to know? Yeah, it's like that's why I was kind of like
Because
really trying to
his
parse
body,
out what was happening this episode, because there's the timeline, or like exactly what happens when, and yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
stuff that
We see
I
it-
really felt.
Well, we see Major Briggs's head in episode like 2 or 3 when Dale's fucking bombing around in the different dimensions and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, we do.
Is that?
Do we see him in episode 8 too? Or no?
No, not Major Briggs.
I don't think
Okay.
so.
We saw that
That's
purple
weird.
that
fell
purple
asleep.
realm. We saw that realm that his head was floating around in.
Yeah,
I thought we did. But even that says something. That's like a connection, a thread right there.
He made it to that place.
That he did.
Maybe that was the next place that he wanted to get to. That he communicated to Shaggy.
Right.
Shag.
Shaggy. Shaggy. Wasn't me.
What'd you guys think of this Dougie portion of the episode?
Too short.
Yes.
Dougie too short.
It was a little too short. Dougie, I think, only got
There's a
one
lot
line.
of talking around Dougie. Dougie adjacent.
There's a lot of Dougie adjacent.
We're gonna get there's gonna be a Mr. C focused episode. There's gonna be a Dougie focused episode where it's gonna be, or it's at least gonna be heavier on those characters per episode.
Right.
And I just can't wait for the
Well,
next
I'm here.
Dougie one.
That's what I'm here for, dude.
You made some really good observations, Bracho, about the way that Kyle MacLachlan gives his performance as Dougie. Because there's
The physicality of it.
there's
He
so
completely
much.
embodies him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From the somewhat innocent blank look on his face to his unsure movements, gentle movements, and there's the way he walks, the way he does everything. He's got Kyle MacLachlan really worked on it.
Now that I am hearing you say this out loud and seeing it back a little bit, it is reminding me a lot of small children, less 5 years old or less, probably less, 3 years old or less.
Very
sponges.
unsure.
Yeah,
They have to
sponges.
use two the way that he uses the two hands to lift the cup up to his mouth,
Mhm.
and the way that he lights up at certain things, and then
The word that I keep coming back to is in the physicality and just overall demeanor and how he acts is just unsure. You know what I mean? He's not confident. You know?
Hmm. Yeah, he lacks that Dale Cooper go get him attitude that very well could be coming from a place of confidence.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is very much little kid. Very much just unsure little kid.
But I can imagine Kyle MacLachlan probably was like, "I'll study my grandkids or nieces,
Right.
nephews." It's like, yeah, did a lot to. But yeah, it'd be really interesting. I'm sure that I could watch some extra features on the Blu-rays that I have.
He's had to
That's
have
a
talked
good
about
Dougie
being that
face,
Dougie. If he hasn't, yeah, if he hasn't talked about being Dougie somewhere, I'll be disappointed. You know.
Not a whole lot of Janie E this episode. Like,
Nope. Fine with that.
pretty sparse.
Dougie gets one word to say. He says answers.
He does.
Answers.
Answers.
Which is a
And-
very profound thing to say. I mean,
It is.
answers. He's looking for answers. We're looking for answers. Yeah, of course.
Wait, so
Everyone's looking for answers, dude.
who was the person in this episode that said the line, "This is the chair"?
Briggs's wife.
Okay.
Mom.
Oh, yeah.
So
Briggs.
that's interesting to me that the
Bird.
title of the episode, the focus of this scene,
The way.
like,
Yeah, kind of.
The-
This is the chair.
well, the title of the episode, the focus of this scene in a big way, as well as like another. It's just funny to me that there's that one scene between Andy and Lucy, where
Oh
it-
yeah, well
it-
they're talking about chairs.
yeah, it feels like a very classic scene maybe between the two.
That's such a misdirect, isn't it?
But then the focus of what they're talking about is a chair and like
And
Yeah.
she picks the red chair at the end.
yeah, well, and but that's is like he is the first
Foreshadowing.
person to kind of
Ooh,
concede
red
or
gold.
compromise where he's like, hey, like I'm sorry for being a stick in the mud. You can get the beige chair, and she's like, yeah, you were being a stick in the mud, but then she concedes secretly, which is very much their dynamic, and then buys the red chair. So it's like,
Red with gold on it,
And
just
it's
like
foreshadowing.
Right.
That's what we find in Briggs's house. They have a red chair.
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, we
very
also
true.
had Mr. C text messaging on his bedazzled phone. And
Yep.
Diane getting it.
Charlene. But yeah, Tim
Chantel,
Roth and
or-
yeah, Chantel, that's what it was. Tim Roth and fucking Jennifer Jason Leigh.
But yeah, the
Then,
chair's
yeah, then
significance
Diane
is really
gets
cool.
it.
I'm gonna call that duo 1/4.
Yeah.
You see Diane get that message at the end, or towards the end.
Well, I don't know if
I don't know if it's
was it her receiving it or her sending it. I'm just like confused on like what the fucking
I don't know.
is that a sent message or is that a received message? That's received, right?
It's
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
from
yeah,
an
yeah.
unknown
'Cause
contact
sent,
too.
sent would be blue on the right side.
Yeah. Your
Yes.
messages are on the right.
Okay. So yeah, shoot. Wow. Like and seeing this here, I don't remember them broadcasting the information that she's like a mole, basically,
Right.
this early on. It comes to a head and you
A
learn more
freckle
about it
maybe,
later on.
but a
like,
mole, I don't know.
This is just not what I remembered. And
100, yeah. I
'cause this is
barely remember
episode
anything.
9. This
Yep.
is there's 18 episodes, yeah?
We're halfway there. Whoa, living on a prayer.
It's Jenny lives on the docks. But like it's halfway through the show and I just don't remember them giving away that information this early on. But
Right.
yeah, we continue on into another series of interesting developments. Like this is like 4 or 5 of just bam, 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 big exposition scenes in this episode.
Mhm. They're just doing some. They have to move some plot points around after just episode 8 came
Yeah,
in and
but-
just a big There's a big narrative, nothing, but a big fucking lore dump, lore
That's what I
extravaganza.
liked. That's the only thing I'm really excited about for this episode is the big lore dumps and the exposition of previous events that occurred.
Yeah. But yeah, because last episode we got a very visual representation of some lore, but like the rest of the story that's been going on went nowhere. So you got to move some shit in this episode. They decided to just drop a bunch. Give us
Tyler,
a nice little
there we
dump.
go. I want you to find a
Little
good
dumpy.
frame of Jerry staring down in fear.
Oh yeah, Jerry just tipping balls, dude. That happened. This episode for some reason.
I'm
not
just
your
tell me.
foot.
I want to know what happened to Jerry that like led to this.
I told you, dude. He'd like, I don't know which came first, the weed or the hiking, but one of those came first, and then the other one followed. And then they're like, he's like really gets into nature, and then all of a sudden he's like, drops acid, and takes mushrooms, and then that's just his life now.
I mean,
That's what he's done.
yeah.
I don't know how he got there, but that's the likely sequence of events.
Lucy's Sangich, I gotta call that out.
Yeah, dude, that's a pro tier Sangich, dude.
Because they never ever get any closer than what we just see there, but you can tell that's a fucking stacked Sangich. Man.
It's a great frame
Little
too.
Dagwood,
Just
but-
Lucy chilling
It
with
is.
the frickin' sandwich.
It is. Oh, the one where she's holding her hand up like, hey.
She's like, nope, not today, guys.
Oh,
Warning
I
off
got
the
Sangich.
evil spirits that might interrupt her from her Sangich.
I
Yep.
love how they kick Chad out
It's
after
Sangich now.
reading
Good.
his gun book.
He admits that he knows he's not supposed to be in there,
I
and then is
know.
a goddamn doofus the entire way out.
Hey, so what happened with that Johnny guy? Who was that? What happened?
That was Audrey's autistic
brother, right?
brother.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
wore the
Yes.
headdress in the original series.
Yes.
Yeah. So like, when what happened to his eyes?
What do you mean? What happened to his eyes? So
Did he have no eyes? Did he have no eyes?
No.
no.
it's-
So
He's just
yeah.
closed
You
his
can
eyes.
you can see
Okay.
it's a cut
He's just
just
got blood eyes?
below like his eye on his cheekbone, basically
Okay.
on the like outside of his cheekbone. Yeah, he was just running, slipped and
Smear
Yeah, he
frame.
was like Scooby Doo running, dude, from through doorways and shit.
Yeah.
and her calling out after him like Johnny,
Johnny.
and he just
I-
zooms
that-
by,
Zoom.
and you hear the pitter patter of feet.
Yeah.
That's such like a
But
kid.
yeah,
Then he runs and an explosion happens.
Well, yeah, but he
Explosion.
smacks into the
Well,
wall
it
like
goes-
super fast. He smacks.
But it's
into
like
the
some
wall.
lights blow up or something, doesn't it?
Well, yes, it's basically like he
Was that the Speed Force?
Speed Force. Yeah.
Eric. No. Oh, but that's a good picture of Snoqualmie Falls of Twin Peaks right there.
Mhm.
But he basically was like slipped, fell, hit the wall, which probably ended up with this picture and the glass breaking, and then he probably knocked over some lamp or a table or some shit that we just don't
Can you
see.
go back a little bit there, Tyler? Go back a little bit.
Back a bit.
Because you're
Where he
completely.
does it.
that.
He
Where's
does
that?
that.
Oh, what's that picture?
Crashing. Boom. Glass shatters.
Right there. Yeah. Did he go into the Speed Force right there?
Yeah, he did. Johnny.
He did. Johnny Quick, dude. Johnny Quick, dude. He went to the
Oh
Speed
my
Force, bro.
God,
Quick
Eric,
Johnny. Johnny.
Why? Why did you have to do this?
Dude, I didn't do it. David Lynch
From the
did it.
beginning of the scene, the build up to him going into the speed force.
He's the blue blur, man.
Johnny,
He's
Johnny!
He's the blue blur.
Johnny. He figured out the speed equation,
I'm gonna
dude.
kill
We'll
him.
let him out.
Who let him out?
The blue blur.
That's the speed formula. How else do you think he got from up there to down there, dude?
Johnny!
Speed Force.
Johnny, where are you?
Johnny Quick. There he goes. Fuck it. Yeah, fuck it. There he goes. Into the Speed Force, dude.
Yeah, that is.
Great moment.
But poor Johnny, man.
What happened?
Like,
What exploded?
well, he slipped. He
Probably
crashed into the wall,
hit
and
a
he
lamp.
cut his face on the fucking he like hit a lamp or some shit,
Okay.
and he
So
just
not the
cut.
Speed Force is what you're
He
saying.
cut.
In your head
Eric,
canon, yes.
In your head canon, 1,000,000% absolutely. Johnny
Dude,
entered the
that's what it
Speed
looks
Force and
like, bro.
became the multiversal
That's what it looks like.
speedster.
That's what it looks like. That's all I'm saying.
What did I'm just imagining Audrey in season 1 or 2 just being like, "Do you know my brother? He's a speedster." Like when she's talking to the collection of Norwegians, and she's like, "She was
Yeah.
murdered. He's a speedster."
He's a speedster. Leave him alone.
Johnny Quick, the speedster.
This whole exposition here with Ma Briggs was really fun. I really enjoyed this scene. It's probably the highlight for me. She like, I know exactly what you guys are saying. Shut up. I know exactly what you're going to say. Major Briggs told me that you guys would come here. I didn't know it was going to be you, Sheriff Truman, but this is what he had to say. And she shows off this sick-ass chair that has a secret compartment that has a message in it that only, I guess, Bobby knows what to do with it, because he chucks it on the ground and it starts humming a tune. And Hawk's like, "What the fuck?" Look at those hawk eyes right there. Just
It starts reverberating like a tuning fork, and
exactly.
it seems like it's something that he recognizes the shape or form of from when he was a child.
Shape of.
Like his dad like prepared him for this shit. Like, all right, Robert, remember this shape, and if you ever see it, throw it onto the ground and listen.
So yeah, it benefited Bobby to know his dad's, I don't know, weird, eccentric things that he does. So he knew exactly how to open that thing and like what to look for. And obviously the stuff, when he opens it, Sheriff Truman then looks at it and he has no idea what Jackrabbit Palace is. And Bobby gets to fill in the blank. So it's like father and son coming back after a while. And it's sort of harkening back to Major Briggs being just that good dad to Bobby, even though Bobby lashed out and was kind of like a dick that whole first series, you know?
Amen.
Yeah.
And he was like not thinking about how much his dad loved him, but like his dad kind of knew. And I think he obviously knew probably prior to when he was burned at his physical form, or whatever form was burned in the fire.
Well, they said we thought that he died in the fire.
That's another
clearly,
thing. That's another thing.
but
He was obviously in the station, but he knew there was danger, so he somehow conjured up enough energy to just go into probably a speed force.
Well,
went-
no,
he
we
went
don't
to-
necessarily know that he was in the station at the time of the fire. They were just saying like, we thought that he died in the fire because we couldn't find him, but he very well could have disappeared before the fire happened.
That's true.
Because they were saying that Cooper came to see him at his home, and then he was like, pulled his wife aside and was like, "Jesus fucking Christ, this is not Dale Cooper." And that's like it's a. I'd be very curious to see like a timeline, literally like
Exactly.
written out with
That'd be kind of
when
interesting.
things maybe happened, but
Bobby
Yeah.
kind of gets to reconnect with his dad's weirdness in this scene, because he's the only one that knows a lot of these missing pieces. That is, like, he named Jackrabbit Palace or whatever himself, because it was a special place where he would go hang out with his dad. And
I am a Jackrabbit Palace.
it helps Hawk, because this is part of Hawk's whole thing. Like, it
Part
led
of
into
Hawk's
all these
whole-
different clues, and it goes back to when Hawk was like taking apart that Nose Pierce, whatever it was called, Nez Pierce.
That's
Yep,
purse. Yeah.
Nez Perce.
His purse.
Yep. Yep.
The door,
Which,
basically means pierced nose.
yeah.
But yeah, he took apart that and found more like hidden diary pages and things like that. So you're taking apart things to find more things to lead you down these clues, and like that's kind of an interesting part of this show is like these mundane things that you are so unassuming just have clues in them.
One thing I'm noticing right now, are the colors of Robert Forrester's jacket the same or like similar to Diane's? The darker teal, the like
Burgundy.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks like a hunter green.
The dark gray interior.
Could be.
Well, yeah, it's interesting too that like there's the
And the Cooper thing that he got from
Cooper.
What was that thing again, Wilson? Can you, for other people, give us a refresher on what these codes mean and what the Cooper significance is?
Well, it's
two
from
Coopers.
the word. It's from the work that Major Briggs was doing in the original seasons of Twin Peaks, where he was basically at like I think in his words, roughly, it was like a deep space monitoring station that had something to do with Project Blue Book and also like, the Blue Rose investigations. But they basically just received a bunch of like incoming data, and he said like it's space junk, just like garbled data coming in. But then there was a moment where it said like Cooper. It said the owls are not what they seem, and they happened like it said Cooper at the moment that Cooper was being shot at the Great Northern. So these communications directly they draw a direct correlation between events of the show and these supposed deep space communications or data or some shit like that coming in, which is like, what the fuck,
Mm-hmm.
It kind of helps draw that line or like cross that line between the idea of like roughly aliens and the Black Lodge and everything else that we see in this show.
Can I point something else out right now? Is that circle
Please do.
with that arch, and then it looks like an eye almost, like an eye that has some kind of like maybe mascara or like an eyelash.
Horns. It's Judy. That's the Judy symbol because it's her looking command center. It's her like circular, head-shaped orb, and then two little horns coming off of it. That's the Judy shape.
Oh, okay. Because you know what
Which
that
is
reminds me
also-
of though? Like,
What?
it reminds me of my sister's girl, or the girl from Fire Walk with Me that had that red dress on, and she was like
Lil?
squinting.
Cousin Lil?
Like at the very beginning where she came out of the airplane hangar and she's like doing her little dance.
Mm-hmm.
She had that like same kind of winky face. Like it just sort of is, for some reason it's reminding me of her.
There's also I think it's technically called like the owl symbol cave.
The
Or
owl cave.
Owl cave symbol. Where it's like a diamond with two little wingies coming off of it, which is like
Right.
supposed to be also Judy. They really start to tie things. Yeah, here it's But yeah, overall, I thought this was a very good episode. It had like good pacing to keep you interested the whole way through, even though it was jumping around a lot.
Mhm.
And
We get a lot of different poses from TP over here.
Oh yeah. Dude.
yeah.
Just
That-
boom, 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 boom.
Well, and you were pointing out too, like in her interview, she just could not sit still.
She kept moving into frame, out of frame. Like, sit back, let Matthew Lillard cook. He's like doing the acting of his life here.
He's doing some work.
he did a lot of work in this scene, and this one stuck out with me. I'm like, damn, he's like putting it all out there.
It is a bit over the top, but like so much of this show, and especially if you have watched, which I can't imagine anybody watching The Return just without
just raw dogging it, dude.
yeah, like so
Just main vein raw dogging The Return.
I would be very curious to hear from some of those people that have only watched The Return and have not been like, what's the rest of Twin Peaks like? But
that was something.
This scene, you're not like, you're kind of primed for the over the top, the out of the ordinary acting maybe, or stuff like that. But the stuff that he's saying, the blanks that he's filling in and things like that, this is a very good performance, and I would say one of the standout scenes of this episode is this
definitely was, because
interview.
You get to know a little bit about like all the people he was talking about that were at this place he went to with Ruth, and like how he was talking to Major Briggs, and how Major Briggs told him like these specials, like numbers or these codes.
Well, Major Briggs wanted to know the codes, or the numbers.
To know the codes.
He wanted to, coordinates is what he ends up saying, which, you know, from things that we learn later, but also what you pointed out too, like Mr. C has basically made it clear that he's seeking out information, and then I believe that we've learned that he's looking for like coordinates. So it's interesting just that there's that correlation there. Who are these other gentlemen?
Three just looks like, what? I don't want my picture taken.
2, he's like, I guess I'm here.
Probably fucking production people, props department.
Yes.
6 is a combo of different faces and heads. Like that looks like his face, but blown up because it doesn't fit on that head.
Well, in like 4, since it is very clearly a picture from the 90s, or
like a still image of him sitting down in front of a chalkboard.
It's a cut out still image from a somewhere in the show, because the rest of them, they're framed the exact same way. They're like where their head is, where their shoulders are. They're standing in the same place. It's like an identification photo. They just basically had these people standing in front of the camera, just swapping out. But the picture of Major Briggs, is a cutout from a. Man. Fucking, Ultra Instinct Shaggy right there. Just,
so we leave them to go back to Twin Peaks, and we have
classic shot right there.
Ben and what's her name again?
No, not Helena.
Betty? Not Betty.
Ashley Judd.
It's Ashley Judd. Beverly.
Beverly? Yeah.
They're listening to the haunting tones of the wood.
Yeah, some kind of resonance.
They're pinpointing it down to be like, what's that humming? And they're like, oh wait, it sounds like cathedral bells, you know, like it sounds kind of zen, or like it's like those bowls you get that have that metal piece that you kind of rub around the rim of the bowl, and then like they sing, the singing bowls. Yep. It sounds just like that.
Glasses.
What's that?
Or crystal glasses.
Is that what they are?
Like,
or the crystal glasses. Yeah.
Yep.
Crystal glasses.
For sure.
Awesome. Hell yeah.
But Ben was like, "No, I can't kiss you," and that's pretty much that scene.
do you guys think that that sound or that frequency or whatever is in any way influencing these two to like be romantic or pursue something romantic when they may normally not?
Oh, interesting take.
You know, do you know what I'm saying? Like it's somehow spreading that vibe.
This is the second thing having to do with like sound resonance in this episode too, because you had the little fucking thing with the message in it too.
The
When
doohickey.
Bobby threw it against the ground. Yeah, and then
Yeah.
it fucking resonates on a note too.
Damn, that's a very good point, Bracho. God damn.
Well, if you think about the last episode, and I know it's hard to recall a lot of what happened in that one, but there was sound in that one that was really important too, because it looked like a huge like classic two-way phone. When you hold the stick up to your mouth and you hold the earpiece up to your ear, and you like kind of you have to use, it's like a two-hand setup for a phone.
Oh, that's also a good point. I never thought about that.
It looked like one of those horns, like that's what they used to call the phone. Like, I'm on the horn.
I mean, that's not what he was doing, but that's exactly what it looked like. Yeah,
it looked like that, but it was making noises too, and it was like kind of ringing and making a kind of tone and resonance. And
wow,
the humming of the electricity is also like a resonance that you hear throughout the show.
Yeah.
So there's different. I think it's going more into like the ohm nature of TM, or like the way you kind of breathe and kind of mimic a constant tone to like find like the reverberations or like the harmony of what you're trying to commune with, or whatever the case may be. You're just kind of trying to match everybody else's syncopation or like rhythm, and then you kind of all get into that. Have you ever done that with like other sounds, where you try to match the same tone, and then once you hit the same tone, it's like it sounds sort of satisfying, like you hit the exact note and you're just like, oh yeah, I've hit perfect harmony. And it's maybe it's like that.
Yes.
But I'd like your
I
take
know
on
like
the
certain
love
sound
style.
resonances. I know certain like sound resonance stuff has like some spiritual meanings too. I think,
and that's why
so
they
that
do
makes
those.
sense.
That's why they do
Well,
those
I
kind
mean,
of
think about it.
therapeutic bowls. and
We've
things
got
like that.
hymns that are
Bells.
sung in like these cathedral, super acoustic, resonating like chambers, and all over the world.
Monks.
Monks,
Very-
Mongolian throat singing, like just
Ooh,
bells, organs.
Oh, wow.
yeah. Whether it's bells or instruments, there's just organs. That's another good one too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. It seems like cathedrals are built for those harmonies and those like
For resonance.
the acoustics.
This kind of, well, what are you resonating with? Because that's the thing, is like a resonance means that like an interaction between two, whatever you want to call it, points.
Well, that's what
So-
I'm thinking. That's what when they brought it up the
If-
first time in the show, I thought it was the communing of the spirits within the wood from another realm. They're speaking to them through the wood.
Well, the tone that these guys are listening to me has always sounded very much like if you get a walkie-talkie or like an open mic near a speaker that is broadcasting that same channel, and it starts that feedback, and as you get closer, it gets more intense. Because they're walking around the room and like identifying where it's stronger and weaker. So there's so much interplay between ideas, and that's the thing I was thinking about in this episode specifically, is like season 1 and season 2 of Twin Peaks both have a very specific feeling to them, and then like in totality, Twin Peaks, not The Return, but Twin Peaks has a very specific feeling to it. So just thinking about The Return, I was like, what the hell? Like, it's hard to quantify, but there is a very specific, but hard to pin down, like, shifting of tones or the modulation of tones or the things that it skips between episode to episode, scene to scene. There is some kind of consistency, and I don't even know how to say that in words, but like there is a similar consistency of mood that gets communicated episode to episode, I feel.
Right.
I don't know what that is, but like
Various tones.
I'm super excited now to keep continuing this because, yeah, I'm replaying a lot what happens in the aftermath of the return of Dale and things like that, and what goes down, and what his new objective is, and like what that means. And I've said it before, but like who came out of the lodge and who's actually the real person. If we kind of bring in Fire Walk With Me too into the mix of a lot of this, because Fire Walk With Me was basically the Laura story, like her downfall and what she became, and who were we really seeing there. Like, since we know we have doppelgangers and things like that and different types of people, who knows which one actually ended up in the Black Lodge as Laura. And I'm just going to put that out there. Keep that in your mind when you watch the rest of this show, because it'll get very crazy and leave you just wanting to understand a little bit more.
Man, we've touched on it a couple times, but the idea of doing a like post-mortem or a just like, hey, let's touch base now that everything is said and done. I don't know.
We will need to do like a debrief. We'll do the Twin Peaks debrief.
a Twin Peaks come down, a Twin Peaks fucking detox. I don't.
Yeah, the come down's a good one.
The come down. No,
well, like I think that you have said before, Eric, that you haven't finished, like you have not watched through the entirety of The Return.
I think episode 12 was as far as I got.
So
If I remember correct.
Getting the whole hog, I think, is going to hit differently for you, regardless of whatever, and it will all be it will be fun and unique and special and interesting to me that we will all be on at least some sort of same page by the time this is done.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, probably.
We may all be coming to some sort of like different understanding or interpretation of it, but it's exciting that we'll all have experienced it together and have the context to be able to further discuss it, because let's face it, who knows if we're ever going to get more Twin Peaks in this lifetime, and if we do, who's to say that it's ever going to be anything that aligns with anything we've done so far. So the ability for the three of us, or anybody else who may be watching along with us, hopefully, to have this like communal understanding is a really cool thing, I think.
I think you're perfectly accurate with that. And I hope that whoever watches this, they do comment.
You're perfect.
Perfect. I think you're perfect.
I think you're perfect.
That's not just what I said. You're accurate,
I
perfectly
know,
accurate.
you,
No,
you stopped there at first, and then you finished the thought, but it was just funny at first. I think you're perfect.
Hey, I can think that about my friends.
Eric. Oh my god.
I think you're perfect too, Eric.
I
Thank
think
you.
Perfectly accurate.
the perfect thing is being able to find something that you can share with other people who at least get the thing that you're trying to share with them, if not, yourself as well. So, this is just, gosh, guys, oh man, here we go. This is the halfway point through the last.
Yeah,
It is.
Well,
yeah, you're right.
well,
yeah, we're halfway there. All living on a prayer, right?
I don't want to say last, but like a produced television thing, the last season of Twin Peaks.
That's true.
So, we've got more behind us than we do in front of us, and that's we've turned a corner.
That's true.
Get ready to get lost, boys. We've turned a corner.
Yeah, and before we leave, the next episode is episode 10. Laura is the one.
Oh shit!
That's a crazy title.
Is
So,
she the one?
just knowing that title, it's like, and
Laura?
from watching God of Light and seeing the Lorb that we saw, I was like, yeah, that's definitely
Lorba.
Lorba
Lorba.
she's definitely the one. She's Neo. She's fucking Frodo. She's
I mean,
the ring
yeah.
bearer.
Yeah.
She is
I can't-
her own
I
ring bearer.
can't-
She
Yeah.
has a
I
ring.
can't say that you're wrong. Like I only have to agree.
So yeah, we'll pick this up next week, and yeah, thanks for joining and watching, and maybe commenting your thoughts on this episode or any other episodes from the return. We'd be happy to hear them, or your theories that you may have from the whole series. Maybe you watched the whole entire thing and you just want to throw out a theory of your own. Just put it down in the comments, and hopefully we'll address it in a future video. But yeah, from everybody here at Fargonauts, all the Broachy boys, thanks for watching. And we'll be back. Bye.
I'm a boy.
Hey.
He's a boy. You're a boy. And we're not all boys. Yeah.